ain't afraid of no ghosts. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! If you're all alone, pick up the phone and call Ghostbusters!
So it's twilight up at the Falconry Centre. Got the camera flash thing on. I've got red eyes. It's a big old bonfire bonanza here, which isn't in the gardens. It's up at the car park field, so it's well away from the Falconry Centre. But I've never had any issue with fireworks when my birds were kept at home, none whatsoever. I used to go and check on them, they just weren't bothered. But here it is a bit more rural, and they probably don't get as much nocturnal noises and sort of as much of a lead up to people setting them off in their gardens. So we're going to check on the birds and perhaps box them or hood some of them. But it's a fair way off. I don't think it'll be a problem, but we've just come to sort of make sure and really check on the animal welfare side of things. But it's just getting dark. Nothing's begun yet, only music. What are you doing? We're out just exploring some more local footpaths in the countryside that we've not explored in the 3 years since we've been here. But on the whole, again, not a lot going on to report back on the Nature Boy vlog, because to be honest, we've been doing such sort of boring, non-naturey stuff, like cleaning out and sorting all the guttering out on our house that flooded in the September floods. It really did get in everywhere. Lots of stuff growing in there. We put those hedgehog strips in, which worked brilliantly at the Falconry Centre. So we've done stuff like that. Finally, after nearly a year, started cracking on with the bathroom, the main bathroom at home. But you know, it's not a DIY channel, is it? So there's no point me filming that. Done a little bit out with a hawk and a bit of more training with the white goshawk. It's still slow to come down out of trees. And it needs a lot more fitness work and not a lot of quarry around. So even with that, that's over on the Falconry channel, of course, most of that sort of thing. But yeah, it's weird. It's cool now and it's grey. But after spending the whole day, Jackie and I, oh, Elsie's found something. Jackie and I cracking on for that, up the ladders and sorting out the guttering. It's nice to be back out in the countryside. Anyway, enjoy what else there is in the vlog. Well, we're well into November now. The last couple of weeks were very mild, 15 degrees in the day. This week it's been quite cold, but today bright and sunny. Somewhere out of the ivy has come this peacock butterfly. Something you might disturb when they're hibernating in your shed, but no disturbance here. I think I'm going to risk picking her up. See if she'll crawl up into the ivy there. But crazy, saw one honestly flying around the Falconry Centre just yesterday. November, crazy time still. Weather still real back and forth.
Lily, stay there. Say cheese.
Well, an unusual one, I can't speak, it is that cold, an unusual one from the vet yesterday. A short-eared owl. It was a bit vague how it got to the vets, but picked up by a member of the public near the road or something. Usually glancing blow off the road, that can actually have internal injuries that finishes them, or it's low in condition. By that I mean it's run out of energy, its muscle tone's gone, and it's just wasting away and it can no longer fly. That's probably the most likely reason, because short-eared owls are mostly migrants to this country at this time of the year, and some years they come across in hundreds from northern Europe. Beautiful owl, very aerial, a very good owl at really acrobatic flying. Will fly in the daytime, so it can be quite diurnal. Absolutely stunning. The vets can't find anything wrong with it. I can't find anything wrong with it other than its keel is very sharp and it is low in condition. The downside I've got, to be honest, if I could have put it up in the air and it could have flown, I would have let it go. Typically, after a really mild spell here in the UK, last night was freezing. We've had loads of snow and it's going to be freezing for a few days before it warms up. So a bird that's already low in condition, releasing it when a lot of its prey like voles and shrews are going to be hidden under the snow layer, and when the temperature's just crashed, pretty much a death sentence for that bird. But equally, keeping it just to feed it up, if it doesn't eat because it's in a strange environment and it just doesn't understand what white mice and day-old chicks are compared to the brown and black food it's mostly eating, and other birds, they eat birds on the ground. If it doesn't kick in and feed in a couple of days, it's going to starve to death anyway. So it's just one of those awkward ones that really, it's got a 50-50, keeping it somewhere warm and dry and offering it food in a dark, secluded box where there's a shaft of light coming in for it to see by, but it's not seeing people or animals around it coming and going. We'll see how it goes, and I'll report back. But it's nearly gone here now in Northamptonshire. I got up today to quite a bit of snow and heavy snow. I drove up to Nottingham in thick snow blizzard, the spray off the lorries on the motorway in the dark, awful, and they had just over, no exaggeration, just over 3 inches of snow up there. So very difficult. I actually thought I'm going to get here and the school will be shut, but it wasn't. Most of the kids made it to school, and we've had a good animal talk this morning. And now we're back at the Falconry Centre, feeding and checking animals. I did think I'd be coming up to clear the snow off Avery roofs, but no, it's melted here. Almost gone, look, which is a shame, because although it's no good to me and my work, the snow in the countryside, as it was up in Nottinghamshire, absolutely stunning, and I wanted to get some footage here, but yeah, all wet and dirty and horrible now. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that footage. What else have I got to tell you? So I want to show you about the short-eared owl, because that is quite special. Not something you get in for rehab very often nowadays. You get the buzzards and the sparrowhawks and tawny owls all the time, but yeah, pretty little thing. So a bit of an experiment going on here. Our male polecat passed away, sadly, hormone deficiency due to the vets castrating him rather than vasectomizing him. He lasted a while, but he gradually lost body mass and his pelt, really, they just don't keep their macho image once those balls are cut off. And now in the wild, polecats are pretty loners, whereas their domesticated brethren, the ferret, which you're looking at right now, they're really sociable. So strangely, because the ferret is domesticated from the polecat, but these polecats here on display with the black noses, very slightly, they have got a little bit of black ferret in them, a little bit watered down. The idea being to make them more tractable as a handling animal. Certainly failed with a Jill. She's savage, as the breeder told me she could well be. So she's on her own. So we just introduced 2 young hob ferrets. Now she's just snatched a dead squirrel out of my hand and savaged it like it was a totally wild prey item. Here it is there, having a nap. But she knows the difference. She knows these smell more like her. She's checking them out. They are only youngsters, which probably won't be in their favour. A bigger adult male more likely to sort of dominate her. So far, better introduction than I thought. Possibly partly because they smell very much like her, and B, They just think she's another ferret. They're not showing any fear or worry. Or well, hopefully it'll be a good introduction and quite handy for education, because we can talk a bit about the pure polecat, the wild polecat if you like, that's making an amazing comeback in the UK. In fact, a lot of them have got watered down, escape ferret in them, but for all intents and purposes the wild polecat is now very, very abundant, certainly around Northamptonshire. See plenty of those down on the roads now. And then we can talk about the domesticated version. There he goes, the ferret, and how they're used and employed since, well, they were brought here most likely by those invasive French, the Normans, 1066, with their rabbit warrens. I'll have a little tail off there. So it might work well. That little one, look, it's already instinctively knows what a dead animal is, and they're actually fighting over it. Look, he's actually bossing her about. Look at that. So that young upstart is actually fighting her. Well, not now, he's not bothered. He's actually bossing her about, which is I was quite surprised to see that. Wonderful pets, by the way, ferrets, especially if you can either give them a big enclosure or work them so they get a lot of exercise. Quite clever and very active. The polecat, an animal that's fascinating to keep, but less pettable. Much more difficult to be a handling animal there. Look at that natural behaviour, look at that. Going much better than I thought though. I'm really shocked to see that male ferret actually give her a telling off, especially at his young age. Look at him, he's proper bossy, look at him. And they will fight, they will bite, they scruff each other, ferrets. In love and war, to be honest. It's gone. Pop goes the weasel, look. Brilliant. Certainly if you keep with pets and you can provide something like the size of a shed like this, a big shed, and do it out for them, obviously that's a lot better than a hutch. But they thrive and do well in hutches. Look at that. Now there's nothing more sex mad in the snake world than false water cobras, and that's what they're doing right now. So for those of you that don't know, snakes have two winkies, one either side, so whichever side he decides to pull up against his missus, whichever side he decides to lay, he can pop one out or the other one out. The rest of the time they're hidden away inside his cloaca. Kind of, if you was a snake and you had two willies, you really wouldn't want to be dragging them along the floor all day and all night. That'd chafe. Clever things, snakes. And in this case, sex mad.
What is it, Lily? Can you say snow? Snow!
No.
Yeah, snow!
Wow, what a day. 4:30 alarm, down to a regular school down in Cheltenham, all the way back home. That was until lunchtime. It some mornings just don't go to plan. So, early rise, don't want to wake Jackie up. She's on a late shift at her nursing today. Just about to leave, and the cistern on the toilet wouldn't stop running. It was overflowing down to the toilet. I'm absolutely sure it would never have overflowed. It would have all overflowed into the toilet. I don't know. I sort of will it or won't it. Ended up wasting about 15 minutes faffing about, making sure that cut off. My mouth's so cold. Got on the road, forgot to put diesel in the van yesterday. So I'm now running late. Now I've got to get diesel, I'm running later. I get down there. Several kids are off in each class with a cough and cold bug. A third of the ones that are there were just coughing like a frog chorus. That's me finished for a few weeks. And then I'd left my folder with my important paperwork like travel documents, DBS, insurance and that kind of thing at the school. So now I've got to ask someone to post it back all the way from Gloucestershire. The weather there was snow on the hills still. It's not bad here, a lot of frost, but it was real white on the hills there. Yesterday, Ursula did a talk at a home school, home educational group. They were great. She said they were absolutely outstanding. So now we've just set the Bull Cross lure machine up. And we're just back at the Falconry Centre. I'm very tired from driving. You can hear a restless goshawk. We're going to get Birdie out and give her some exercise before it's dark. So we're hoping to release the short-eared owl now. It's a bird that will fly by day, but all owls are prone to attack from buzzards, and especially a murder of crows. So I wanted to leave it until twilight. It is quite cold, but it's the back end of the cold snap now. Warming up tomorrow, but also bringing rain. And owls are not that waterproof, so I didn't really want to release this thing on a rainy day. I'd rather a crisp, cold, dry night, a still night where it's going to be able to hunt or cover ground. This is most likely a migrant from the colder climes of Europe. Short-eared owls come to Britain en masse some years. It's eaten loads, and I think as long as it can fly, time to release it, put some body mass on, eating like a pig. So he's had a second chance thanks to the guy that picked it up, and we're letting it go down. Nice quiet spot, a lot of rough ground and a river valley, so good place to vole and so on and so forth. But a little copse here should she wish to duck in, so let's see what happens. Okay, time to release the short-eared owl. She's certainly fed up well, had a lot of food, which is a good thing. She was thin, hoping that was the only thing wrong with her. We're down by the river valley. It's getting towards dusk. We don't want a murder of crows to get her or a buzzard. This is a very agile species that will thermal up to great heights. They're migratory. As long as she's not injured, she should be just fine. Well, that was such an epic fail, it kind of made me snigger. Has got an injured wing after all, and it's gone to a local owl rehabber called Alan, who I've known for years and years, who's got the space and the time to see if it's just a bruised wing, which usually heals up perfectly well, but takes a few weeks. If it's got some sort of fracture, then it's done for. The vets won't repair it, and that'll be that. And it will never repair to a sufficient state that it will ever be fit for purpose in the wild. They've got to be 100% or dead in the wild. So Alan will let us know. I'll keep you posted in the future. Get off, fly. But yes, look perfect. Had an injury. Beautiful animal. Shame to sort of bang it on the head, so to speak. So it's going to be given a third chance. Fingers crossed that beautiful animal will get better or live its life in some sort of happy way. But really, it's a bird that needs to go back and be free. Don't forget, this is my vlog channel. So vlogging my life with work and pleasure, I guess, but it's all the same thing really. If you're really more into your reptiles, check out the Snakes Plus channel, and if you're really into your falconry, check out the Falconry channel. They're the more detailed channels for those two topics for sure. Totally off topic, but if you want a really good book to read, I never really was that into history at school, bored the tease off me. Check out this one about Captain Cook, a factual book, very fascinating, certainly for someone that didn't really pay attention to too much history at school, so that's a really good book for sure. And on that note, I'll leave you there, because tomorrow is probably going to be all about fitting bathroom stuff, cabinets and furniture into the bathroom. Yeah, Nature Boy goes DIY. Catch you in the next one. See you soon.